All right, what up, traders? This is a real recap for today's market activity for myself. So this morning, what I was looking at pre-market was ADAP, RTIX, and TXRC or something like that. Okay, so here was my game plan for this one. Okay, I said stock has been running for the last couple of days. It is a breakout beyond 550 or a dip buy in the 450 area. Pre-market currently sits at 540 with the first buy opportunity about 530 to 5. I didn't know where, but just in that range. I knew 535 was strong. Okay, I want to see a pullback at the 520ish area in which I would buy. Hold through 50 to see if it breaks out to 6 or more, and it could squeeze easily today. Okay, so that was a game plan. This is what it looked like 5 minute prior. This is all pre-market data before the market, and so I'm just looking at where the strong areas of support are, and just kind of taking heed to that. This is what it looked like pre-market when I snapped a picture, and this is the area that I end up taking, which was the 530. Well, tried to take 535 area. Okay, so after we back traded, here's the game plan. I wanted to grab this one at 535, which actually happened. I didn't get filled, so I did put an order in. First minute, it pulls down here right to my entry area. It actually went deeper than 535. I think the deep pullback was like 30-ish. I didn't get filled. It moved too fast for me, and at that point, I was upset, but it did what I needed to do. If I would have got filled at 535, I was looking at, what did I need? 53 cents. So 535 real quick. I'm gonna just do this calculator on my phone. Oh wait, did I do? I can't even remember. I think I did. Let me press play. Start that. Okay. Let me look at this real quick. Apologize. I got sidetracked. 35 plus 0.53. Oh, 588. So yes, it did it because it came up to 6 and turned right back around. So the next opportunity, I thought to myself, considering what I saw, was at the 480 area. I didn't get to try it again, but the stock was showing a lot of weakness, and thankfully I did not try it because it pulled even deeper back in the 480 area, and then it cracked later on even further. So this thing ended up closing at 4. So it was sometimes it's good that you didn't get the second opportunity. I just know that the second attempt bounce was weak. You got to remember, I don't trade past 8:30 because I'm already taking my kids to school. So everything that I look at, this back testing doesn't go past noon or 9 o'clock West Coast, noon East Coast, because I'm never in the market at that point. So I only focus on what I can do, what the timetables in which I would be working in. That's pretty much how I've always played it. Okay. All right, good. So that was that one. I missed that one. Okay, TRXC. Okay, the game plan. Stock is gapping up. On FDA news, it has a pre-market support area at 235, but it is too close to VWAP. I would rather see this one crack to 2 and buy in at like 207, so it can move towards VWAP with more than a 10% chance of gains, meaning I want something to crack 10% or more at 235 if that's where VWAP was, and it goes down to 2. Man, that's more. That's about 15% of gains that are possible. Okay, so that was a game plan. So remember, I was trying to get ADAP. So as soon as I go back to this one, I knew what my game plan was on this one. Here's just the hourly and all of that. Here's the pre-market. Here's why I thought that 2 area would be good. See how it held these numbers all pre-market, and then right at the end open and started to pull away. I wanted it here. Number one reason is because, one, you can see all this pre-market support here, and then 2, don't forget it's a whole number, and we know that people like to buy at the whole number. So it was like a perfect opportunity. Okay, the second opportunity for this stock was around 160. I don't think I took a pick that far, but my second opportunity would have been to play this at 160. The problem is it did not happen within the time frame I would have been trading. Okay, but it did present a second opportunity that would have been successful, but that's neither here nor there because I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do it. Anyhow, this was my game plan. So now I'm coming back over trying to get this area, and I didn't get executed here. I just missed this one, and I was very upset because that would have been what I needed. And look at what it did. It came down here. The low of this candle, if I recall correctly, was 204. I was trying to get 207, running on through here, and I was really just trying to get to VWAP, which was at 236. So you do the math, 207, 227 would have been 10% gains. So, add another 5 cents or so, 12 to 13%. That's a great win. And then it even spiked up here further to 260-ish, but I would have been gone by then. See, now at this point, I do recognize that the 2 area again would not be a bad opportunity. And it does come back to these low 2s, and it runs back up to 225-ish, which tells me that this is done because it couldn't even break this. This means that it's looking for bigger crack. That's why once I saw that, I recognized that the best area, given pre-market in the charts, the bigger time frames, was that 160 area. And so, it would have been nice if that happened prior to me going out, but it didn't. It happened way later, and it made a 10% run, and it is what it is. But that would have been my game plan. So now I missed the first one that would have been done within a minute. I missed the second one that was done within about 10 minutes. I get the third one, which was the other one I was looking at, RTIX. I was skeptical on this one, which is why the ADAP and the other 2 were my top 2 picks, because it was a big gap. It was gapping from 276 up to the 5 area up here. And I was hoping that this 486 weekly area would hold, because this is a weekly chart. I had to go back to the weekly to be able to see something. And if that didn't hold, then I understood that this 450 area would. Okay. Problem with this is it's got a lot of red, as you can see. It sells off often, and it basically tells me it's a diluted stock. And there's a lot of bag holders. Bag holders is a term I use for people who bought this thing way higher, and they just been waiting for it to spike so they can get rid of shares. Okay, that's a bag holder. They've been holding a bag that they thought was going to be a big time bag that ended up not, right? And so, the check bounce, so to speak. And every time that the price gets anywhere near close to what they bought in for, they just sell off. Okay, so you get a whole bunch of shares just shorting this thing down, which is what you're saying. I was wrong to buy it I actually bought it at 480 because it kept cracking through. It was when I got executed. It got executed at 480. I was wrong for the price area because I thought it was here. The bottom line is it sold through this, and 450 was really the area. That was the area to get. There was good reason to believe that 490 would have held. I mean, there was nothing wrong with taking it there, especially when you consider pre-market. So here's the daily. Here's that 450 area. Here's the pre-market chart. So see, all of this support right here, this is all right here. This is 490. So there was reason between pre-market, between the daily, and between the weekly to believe that that area would have hold. Sometimes areas just don't hold. It breached it, and that's just all there is to it. And so I had to cut losses quickly. I only end up losing, I think, $57 total. So it just kind of is what it is, and life goes on. That's kind of how you look at that. That's how you play that. You don't worry nothing about it. You just keep on moving, man. And so I took this one. It didn't work out. Here's what it looked like back testing. Dipped as low as 435. It ran and worked back up to 488. So if I would have got in at 450, I would have been looking at about an 8 to 7% gain, which again, man, you can't go broke taking profits. So today I took a small loss, and that's the other lesson that I can never get away from. Tim taught me this, and I stick to this. I adhere to that like nobody's business. Always, and I do mean always, cut your losses quickly. I will say that again. Always cut your losses quickly, because hope, my friend, is not a strategy. Okay, so that's what my day looked like, man, and I love being transparent and brutally honest about it because actually it's made me better. And so what you're looking at is me back testing everything. So I back test whatever I looked at that day, and then I'm about to back test INPX because that was another stock that was kind of perking. It was a former runner who I'll show you actually so you can see when I say a former runner, you can understand what I mean. A former runner is a stock who, in the past, and I don't care how long in the past, it shows me that it can run, has spiked significantly. Okay, so let's go to INPX because they was buzzing this. They came in late. They wasn't buzzing pre-market. Okay, this stock, it doesn't look like much here, but you got to understand this thing went from 3. Let's go to the hourly. It'll look better on the hourly. This stock went from 560, really from down here, from $4 to $28. And let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 days and basically we would call that 3 trading weeks because it's only trading week is only 5 days. This thing went from $4 to $28. Now that's crazy, right? That's what I mean by a former runner. And this is how penny stocks die. This is a beautiful penny stock chart. It perked, it pulled back, consolidated, then it popped, and boom, it broke out, ran way up, okay, pulled back, consolidated, tried to do it again, it didn't happen, and pew, that thing just sold off, right? And so you had a dip buy opportunity right here at 7. And in fact, I played this at 7. That went from, it bounced from 7 back up to $10. I remember that day. Okay, and then again it gapped down, tried to bounce, couldn't do it, sold off. This is a classic Tim Sykes chart right here that has it has the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. I mean, it has everything, every pattern that only makes sense to you if you're in the Tim Sykes challenge. But yeah, man. So this morning it popped off again. It popped off way back where it began, which was at the $4 range. And so it ran up to what was today's high, previous close. Where's the high? Close at 565. Oh, here we go, 609. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and look at that because it's a former runner, and I want to see what it's trying to do. I'm curious. I'm very curious as to what this one may want to do within this next week because it's a former runner, and you can always bet that former runners, people when they see these stocks spike, will it spike like this? I have no idea. But somebody that knows who traded this, knows the potential, they get excited when it starts to get volume and it has good news, a good catalyst, because they know that it's done this before and they hope that it'll do it again. So I'll be interested in this one. I'm gonna back trade it just to make sure that I give it its due diligence, that I look at locations. I'll pull this 5 up and I'll get real nitty gritty with my support and resistance, so I can just see, where this thing wants to go. Where is a good location? Dip buy this, because right now it's in a dip buy potential. It could actually re-break out through these areas and run through 6. I have no idea. No one else does. But I do know that you have to have a plan and you have to understand these. And if you do, there is potential gains. All right, y'all. I'm out. Did that. I'll see you all tomorrow. I like to keep the content coming throughout the trading week. I'll always recap what I looked at, and this is what keeps me. This is how I get better and better, man. Better and better. Plus, this is extra time in the seat where it doesn't cost me money. All right, y'all. Good trading to you, my friend. I'm out.